Hey friends, today I'm popping on real quick to give you some insider tips on how to show up on Zoom at your very best. Some quick tips as far as from an Emmy-winning TV show producer and director and show host, where it can give you that extra pièce de resistance, should we say? So I'm not going to go over all the ins and outs and all the bells and whistles that we know that Zoom can do. You can find that in other places. I'm going to come to you right now and just bring you some things you just need to know: how to show up, how to angle that camera, how to look your best, and how to do a couple little tips I'm going to show you. So let's get right into that. I'm Aurea McGarry, and I'm here to show you some etiquette tools and tips for your next Zoom meetings and calls, and for events that you host personally, and you use your Zoom to present that to the world virtually. All right, so let me share my screen and let me just show you some fun visuals. Okay, I'm sharing the screen, and now I am going to my PowerPoint, and here we go. Okay. You want to show up to Zoom at your very best, whether you're going to a meeting or a networking event. Well, let me make that a little bit more clear. If you're showing up to a business meeting or just your pals that are having a meeting and everybody's casual and it's just an insider, catching up, and it's nothing fancy at all, you don't have to listen to all the tips I'm giving you now. But if you want to, it'll just make it that much more engaging when you do show up with these tips in place. So I want you to see this picture that I have right now on the computer. Notice the lighting is great. Notice how you can make the corner look very special, very simple, very easy, without having to think you have to have all of this crazy background that I have, or a fancy place or a fancy studio. So a couple of things that make this special, especially if you're showing up at a networking event, or especially if you're showing up as the host of a workshop or a seminar, or you're coming on as a speaker to somebody else's business opportunity, their event, their summit, because now we're doing a lot of events virtually and online. So there are a lot of fancy things you can do, and I'll show you some of the virtual backgrounds as well. But what I want to show you with this quick picture is, look how it's branded, how it has, your logo there, have your branding in some way, but how simple and clean and easy you can make a corner without any fancy shenanigans going on behind you, with any fancy backdrops if you don't have that. But what key is important is the colors, the cleanliness of the whole look is very bright. You've got a diva light behind your computer, and you want your light on the other side of your camera. Many times people put cameras behind them, on the side, and their lamps. You get all these shadowings and you get all this craziness. I'm going to show you in a minute. But just want you to see the simplicity of this one. Great lighting. It's a corner. Corners are a great cheat sheet, I like to say, of how to make a small space look great without having to worry about cleaning up a whole area of your home if you can't right now. All right, so with that, let me show you some don'ts. All right. Yes, I blocked out the faces to protect the privacy. There is nothing wrong with any of these people showing up like this. This looks like it's just something I found online. It's nobody that I know, but it was just there, for capture for this video. They all look fine to show up to just their regular meeting, their casual for the office. Now that everybody's in quarantine, just, come on in. They probably had to get some information out to everybody. It was nothing fancy. But the difference is, if you're going to show up to a networking event or an event, like I told you about, if you're the speaker or the host, you want to show up better. But let me show you some of the tips about this. All right, here's my pointer. One, you want to make sure, look down where this phone icon is. Make sure in your Zoom you've edited your profile to put in the picture that you want, should you have to put your video on pause and not be there in person, and you want a picture there, not just your name, not just this little phone icon. But it's real important, once you show up to an event, networking or summit, that you stay online, that you stay there physically and not keep going back and forth off and on your still picture to your live video. Stay on it, engage. Don't keep popping back on and off if you can avoid that, because it can be very distracting to the whole meeting when people are popping on and off, and it keeps scrambling up the pictures and they keep going from all over the place. So with that, I'm going to show you some neat tips. Notice this one right here that my arrow is on. See how many times I see this. This is the video camera too low down, just like taking a picture. When you're taking your selfies, you get your hands up. They say, go up show up because you want to be from the higher point looking down. It's more flattering. But in a video showing up on Zoom or showing up at an event, you don't want it too high up. You want to be right on point. Like you see me, it's right eye level. I'm not too high and I'm not too low. So just notice some of these. This one, the camera is too low and it's looking up at her, and nobody wants to look at your ceiling. It's a little more distracting. Let's see. This one over here is not bad. It's still showing a lot of ceiling. I would just move it back a little bit to show the person straight on, but this one's not bad. We'll need better lighting. This one needs better lighting. This window in the back can cause all sorts of shadows. So try not to have a window right there that the sun could come up, the sun could go down and start the shadow casting. Better to get yourself more like this gentleman here, where you know your set background is a bookcase. But do angle it. I would move his up, and for hers, I definitely move her camera angle down. Again, you don't want to see a lot of that ceiling up there. This one just has too much background going on, very little here, and I'm seeing all sorts of headspace of her wall, a little bit of the ceiling. And if I was going to show up to a networking event or as my own, I'm a host of an event, I want to be much more center stage, should I say. This one is center stage, but the lighting's not good, and she's still a little bit too low with the camera. Bring those cameras up. Put them on books if you have to. Bring that laptop up so you are eye level. People want to look at your eyes, okay? This one obviously has too much mess in the background. You've got a doorway here. It's distracting, and her percentage of this picture is too small with reference to all this background going on. And this one over here, as you can see, too dark. You've got the sun, so as you can see, she has a window over here and no light over there. A simple diva light in the back behind her laptop would solve that problem. It would light it up the way you see it here, but look again, you're seeing her from her chin up, you're seeing the ceiling, you're seeing her what do you call those? Fire alarms right there, smoke detector, and just not enough of the person. You see the doorways are open, the ceiling, not a good angle. I don't have to explain that to you. This one is okay, but still you've got windows in the back, distractions. Better to center it, because I'm seeing the area that they could have had. They could have just moved their laptop over, made this wall their background, get this window out of it, and center it much, much better. This one's a little too dark as well. So let me go into what I'm showing you. See this? Now, both of these are, you know, this one is obviously not good. You're slouched down on a couch. Don't show up to a networking event like that. Again, this is fine for a casual, something you're doing with your members of some sort, that you're just kind of showing up to have some fun, coffee and collaboration or something, but not for a meeting or if you're hosting. So see the ceiling again, you're slouched down, not a good look. This one is better. I would just move it out, zoom it out a little bit more so you can see more of the shoulders. You're not looking right up on them, and have something in the background that's a little bit more pleasing to the eye, a little branding. Just don't put in the background a picture that has glass on it, because if there's glass here, it will reflect your diva light, or any light you have, it'll shine right back on it. Just like be aware if you're wearing glasses, because if I put on my glasses, which I might do later in this video, you can see my diva light ring reflecting my glasses, and that gets distracting. You guys have to look at that. So this would be a no, because you can see all of this. So just be aware when you're centering your camera, what does all this look like, okay? And do that. People want to just look at that. Now, here's some wonderful tips. Here, this is really easy to do. This is my dear friend, Amy Walker. She's amazing. And this is how simple it can be. She was on my show, my Success Talk show. And, you know, you've got my background, and I've got all the branding, and I just love all this stuff. So you don't have to have all that. I didn't used to. So you don't, I want you to see, you don't have to have all this to start and show up at Zoom. So look at Amy's background. On this one, she went right in front of her fireplace. She does have a little bit more sunlight on one side than the other, but you can fix that by putting blinds on your shades and making that darker, and just keep that diva light right in the center. But other than that, it's great. It's got great lighting. She says up, look how centered she is. You've got a little bit of the shoulder. You've got a great look, great light, a little bit of the background. Everything's clean, not distracting, not a bunch of mess in the background. That's perfect. When you show up like that at your events, people are going to be able to see you. They're going to be able to have eye contact with you. You're going to show up great, and just don't keep clicking on and off with your camera. Stay there, stay present, and you will engage and attract new clients and attract the people that you're there to meet or to work with. This, on the other hand, over here with Amy, look how this is one of her videos she did, and she simply took a beautiful high back chair. She's got a nice clean, it's branded with her kind of a green color wall, a little bit of branding, green color flowers in the background, and she's ready to go. So if you don't have a big fancy fireplace, it's okay. Can you clear out just a corner spot, get a nice pretty chair, doesn't have to be that high back. She even goes as far as she has a branded t-shirt on. So when you're looking for all these different things to show up with now, because everything is virtual, you constantly have to find new tops to wear. Thank God we don't have to find any more bottoms because it's just from the top up, but you're running out of shirts to wear. She decided a while back to get these jersey t-shirts that say Amy Walker Consulting, and she's always in her brand. Never has to worry about what she's going to wear to her videos or how she's going to show up. That's great. Her hair and makeup are on point. Everything is clean. Look at the lighting on that. That would be a great way to show up to all of your networking events or your summits or workshops, whatever you're doing online with Zoom. So either one of these are great. They're simple, they're easy, and you don't have to worry about all these other fancy backgrounds you see some people doing, or these big, fancy, beautiful, homes they have. If you don't have that, it's okay. Nobody knows whether you're in a small apartment, in a trailer home, or in $1 million mansion, or on a yacht. If you just have a simple corner space to work with, they're looking at you, all eyes on you, and you can get your point across. This is another tip you can use. You've probably already heard about this. Zoom has virtual backgrounds, but be careful because it doesn't work as well with blondes. So if you're a blonde, you're going to have to stay perfectly still during the whole time, because when you move around, you're going to get a lot of green pixelating right here. It's going to look like you're an alien, look really weird. But on the brunettes, it looks fantastic. This is my friend Cathryn Marshall from Simple Fat Burn, and she was on my show as well. And with her, she's got enough of her shoulders showing, so it looks very in proportion to the screen. So she's not too small, squinched down. She's not too high up. It's perfectly eye level with the camera. But on this, she's using the virtual screen, but the couch is hers. So this couch is real, and then her virtual background is this. And it really is in a good size dimension. So I really thought this was her condo. So I'm going to show you this point right now. This is the virtual backgrounds that you can do in Zoom. You just go down here when you're in Zoom, click on this little camera. You can go to video settings and make it a little prettier and go through a lot of different options. But right here it says choose virtual background. And it'll have some standard ones. It has a beach so the palm trees can be waving. It's got some other backgrounds, but you can add your own. Just keep in point, here's just a little director's tip. Make the background proportion to where it can actually look like you are there in the room. So it's not so big or so small that you look out of proportion in size. Like this one doesn't look too bad. This one looks like I could be sitting at my counter, and this is my kitchen. See? Could absolutely work. I just don't use the virtual backgrounds because I don't have a green screen. And with blondes, the minute I move, and I move a lot when I talk, it gets all pixelated. But it's okay. If you do have a green screen, you can click here and it'll make it even look better in the background. Here's another one. This one's another virtual background that I just uploaded a picture. You can go to Google and you can do virtual backgrounds, upload what you want. I uploaded some of these to my Zoom background. And this one doesn't look bad either. It's pretty in proportion. Looks like I'm in an office. Again, click this if you have a green screen and look even better, especially for us blondes. But make sure you just make a point to make sure you've got a nice size proportion to that so it doesn't look like the furniture is real small or whatever's in the background's real big. All right, so it doesn't distract. Okay, and that's as easy as that is. Let me stop my share. Okay, so on that note, you're going to show up. You're not going to keep going back and forth from, turning off your camera, turning on your camera if you can avoid that. I know emergencies happen and you have to mute and you have to get up for a minute. That's fine. But for the most part, show up, stay there, let people have eye contact. Keep this right here, look right into the camera. And when we're doing the Brady Bunch Zoom where everybody's all over the place, don't be looking down if you're talking and looking to somebody down here, because see how that looks? Look right at the camera, and if you have to put a little smiley face up there to keep you directed to the camera, whether you're doing your own virtual event or whether you're speaking to your camera on Zoom or whatever you're doing, remember to look straight into the camera and keep your your proportion, nice proportion. I could come in more with this. I can come in even closer, or I can back up depending on the look I'm going for. And again, your background doesn't have to be this elaborate. It can be a very simple corner. Just keep it clean, and lighting is everything. Go onto Amazon, get a Diva light. They come small desktop now, and they come big stand up, which is what I have, and angle it so you've got some great light. And be careful from any window light that would shine extra light in at certain times of the day, so you have blinds. But don't go right in front of a window. Seeing blinds behind you is a big no-no. You just don't want that. So have fun with that. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. Like and subscribe if you like this channel, and I'm going to give you more tips along the way, director tips, point of views from TV show host that does a few things about how to make you look fantastic on video and on your shows that you do. And if you need extra help with directing any of your videos, let me know. Shoot me a comment or shoot me an email at info@aureamcgarry.com, and I'm happy to help you. You have a great day. Hope this helped a little bit. Fast, easy tips on how to look your best on Zoom at all your meetings, showcases, virtual events, and any shows that you do. Have fun and earn more so you can live more, so you can give back more. Stay safe.